As a former endurance athlete, and my previous life, my master's degree is in exercise physiology and muscle physiology, I can tell you that there's 3 determinants of endurance performance. Number 1, your VO2 max, relatively genetically determined, right? So you think of your VO2 max, as a key measure of your endurance performance capacity. Number 2 is what we call the anaerobic threshold, which is essentially you're at that point where you're kind of looking at the power you can put out before you tip into a place where you really begin to accumulate the metabolites from anaerobic exercise. And the third thing that's massively important for endurance athletes, and I know this as a strength and power coach who used to work with elite cross-country skiers, is your economy of movement. So your economy of movement, you can think about it like you're driving down the highway at 120 kilometers an hour in your big Ford F-150 versus in your nice little Prius, right? The Prius is more economical, it burns less fuel. And that's a key thing when it comes to endurance performance. Now, endurance athletes typically don't think about jumping. They think about, their cardiovascular function. They think about, all these other pieces of the puzzle. But what individuals like myself who work with elite endurance athletes know, and what many elite endurance coaches of elite endurance athletes know, is that your plyometric ability, your reactive strength, is actually a very important determinant of your running economy in endurance events. So here what this study is looking at the correlation between reactive strength, measured as this reactive strength index, in well-trained distance runners. And it's looking at the relationship between these measures of like stiffness and reactive strength and running economy. And I'll just have you kind of focus in on some of the plots here at the bottom, because notice what's written here, RSI, right? RSI on panels D, E, and F. That's exactly what you're measuring with the Plantiga system. And you can see the nice, strong correlation between RSI and running economy at 12, 14, and 16 kilometers per hour, namely showing that the athletes who had better RSI were also more economical. So if you're an endurance athlete, and we've got tons of them in our movement coaching program, this is an awesome way to monitor not only your neuromuscular readiness for training, but also to get a sense of how economical you are as you move through your training periods, doing your plyometric training, doing your strength training to make sure you're changing the things that matter that are geared towards your performance.